necessary and sufficient conditions for the functions to be analytic. Now, what is meant by necessary and sufficient condition? That means to check any function is analytic or what, if we check these conditions, then we can say the function may be analytic. We cannot say directly the function is analytic. We can say it is may be analytic. So there are few more conditions to say or to specify whether the function is analytic or what. So the necessary and sufficient conditions for the functions to be analytic are, as we know, if f of z, that means w, if w is equal to f of z, which is again a complex value, so which will be of the form u plus iv. So if we have this function f of z of the form u plus iv, and u and v are real and imaginary part of this function w, which are also a function of x and y, that is u is a function of x and y and v is also a function of x and y, then if these two functions are continuously differentiable and their derivatives are also continuous, then that is, first condition is, if da by u by da by x, da by v by da by x, da by u by da by y, da by v by da by y are continuous functions of x and y in region R, and second is da by u by da by x is equal to minus da by v by da by y da by u by da by x is equal to da by v by da by y, and da by v by da by x is equal to minus da by u by da by y, that is ux is equal to vy and vx is equal to minus uy. If these two conditions are satisfied, then we can say the function is analytic, and if one of them is satisfied, then we can say function may be analytic. To function to be analytic, these two conditions must have to satisfy, so that is why they are called necessary and sufficient condition. So these conditions are in Cartesian form, that is in the form of x and y. So if the function is in polar form, then we have the necessary and conditions. In polar form, we have the necessary and condition, that is, suppose polar form means in terms of r and theta. So if u is a function of r and theta and v is also a function of r and theta, and these are the continuous functions of r and theta continuously differentiable, and the second condition is, if partial derivative of u with respect to r is equal to 1 upon r partial derivative of v with respect to theta, and second condition is, if partial derivative of v with respect to r is minus 1 upon r partial derivative of u with respect to theta, then these are called necessary and sufficient condition in polar form. So let me recall again, that is, if the function is in Cartesian form, then we have the necessary and sufficient conditions, that is da by u by da by x is equal to da by v by da by y, and da by v by da by x is equal to minus da by u by da by y. These are in Cartesian form, and if the function is in polar form, then the necessary and sufficient conditions are da by u by da by r is equal to 1 upon r da by v by da by theta, and da by v by da by r is equal to minus 1 upon r da by u by da by theta. These are the conditions, necessary and sufficient conditions in polar form. So these conditions are called Cauchy-Riemann equations. or conditions, Cauchy-Riemann equations or conditions. So in short, if function is analytic, then these conditions are satisfied. That is, if the function is analytic, f of z is analytic, implies CR equations, that is Cauchy-Riemann equations, are satisfied. But if CR equations satisfied, then we cannot directly imply that f of z is analytic. We cannot directly imply f of z is analytic. There is one more condition, that those partial derivatives of u and v are continuous functions of x and y, then only the function is analytic. So this is one way thing, that is, if fz is analytic, then CR conditions has to satisfy, but if the CR equation satisfied, then f of z may be analytic.